Hello, I'm Wayne Scott and welcome to the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club stand here at the Classic Motor Show at Birmingham's NEC for 2022. A quick tour of the amazing cars that are on this stand for you, because these guys are celebrating the centenary of Swallows. Now, Swallow started the Jaguar story all the way back in 1922 when William Walmsley and William Lyons met in the streets of Blackpool talking about one of these. It is a Swallow sidecar, and William Lyons was so impressed with this sidecar that he offered to buy one from William Walmsley. He was so impressed still that the two of them went into business to create the Swallow coach building company that started building Swallow sidecars like this, attached to a Brough Superior here. This is actually a later model from 1928, a model for super sports, as they called them. But this set the ground for the coach building that they would later employ on their car designs. Now, I'm going to wander over to the other side of the stand because one of those car designs is over here. So we'll squeeze through the crowds past this absolute legend, which we'll talk about at the moment, the Silk Cut XJR9, to this, the Austin 7 Swallow. And as soon as sidecars started to be a product that not so many people were buying anymore, William Lyons and William Walmsley knew they had to branch out and get into motor vehicles, and this was the result. Underneath, an Austin 7, but on top, this wonderful, beautiful custom coachwork. This would have been an incredible car to have spotted on the roads of the late 1920s, at a time when most cars were pretty austere, mainly in black, and this wonderful, vibrant, coloured custom coachwork would have really stood out. Of course, this Austin 7 Swallow set the Swallow coach building company on its path to building cars when they joined with the Standard Motor Company and started using their chassis and their engines. Come and look what they created, because this car has an absolutely fascinating story. This is a 1933 Swallow SS1. This was the sort of vehicle that eventually Swallow coach building got to building. Look at the luxury, look at the amazing coach built lines on this. And this car in particular has an amazing story. It's actually been in the owner's family, Michael Jewell, for 90 years. Here it is on the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club stand, representing how Swallow developed into the 1930s. Now, of course, motorsport was becoming a key part of Jaguar's offering throughout the 1950s, and their success at Le Mans in particular with cars like the Jaguar D-Type led, of course, to this car, the car that you must have on any display of Jaguars. It is, of course, a Jaguar E-Type. It arrived in 1961. This wonderful example was actually built here at the show by the Practical Classics team on the live stage a couple of years ago, and here it is finished in all its splendour here on the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club stand, built by a company called CBR Restorations in the West Midlands, who did a phenomenal job. The Jaguar E-Type, probably the most recognisable and most iconic Jaguar of all time, and here it is next to the car that followed it, the XJS. It arrived in 1975 on the back of the Jaguar E-Type, of course, and it arrived as a coupe originally. This, though, is the cabriolet version with this amazing Targa roof setup, and this particular car was owned by the Princess of Wales, Princess Diana, and actually she specially commissioned the rear seats in this car for the two princes. Brilliant piece of Jaguar history here. It lives normally at the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust at the British Motor Museum in Gaydon, here at the NEC Classic Motor Show as part of this wonderful celebration of Jaguar by the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club, and a great car to see with that fantastic V12 engine. And I mentioned the V12 engine for a particular reason, because they turned this into a racing monster. In 1984, the Jaguar XJS won the European Touring Car Championship with one man called Tom Walkinshaw at the wheel. He became a legend in racing circles, and this was why. Come and have a look at this. This is the 1988 Le Mans winning Jaguar XJR9 in its silk cut livery, and here it is on the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club stand. In 1988, Andy Wallace, Johnny Dumfries and Jan Lammers drove this to victory. They beat the Porsches, who had basically owned Le Mans since the beginning of Group C, that began 40 years ago at Silverstone this year, celebrating another anniversary in 2022. And they took the win in this very car, again, that lives at the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust. And this was the moment where Jaguar's fortunes would really change into the late 1980s. They would return in 89, unfortunately beaten by Mercedes Sauber that year, before returning again in 1990 to take the win at Le Mans once more. A wonderful car to see here as we celebrate 40 years of Group C, as I mentioned. And we come right the way through now to the modern day. And this Jaguar XKR, of course, launched at the end of the 1990s, again really with a design that harks back to that original E-Type shape we just saw. This took Jaguar with its sports tourers through the late 1990s and into the early 2000s. And not only did this represent an amazing history of Jaguar and Swallows that we saw earlier on, but also shows the great diversity of all of the members' cars here in the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club.